And we are live. Welcome in, everybody.
And yeah.
Greetings.
You got the IFC MidKnights here with you. We're going to be covering a film for you tonight, Crowsnest. I'm joined by Patrick, have Chico View, Ben from the Cadaver Club, and the lovely Mary Wilson as well. And I'm sure we'll have some good input on this film. It's unique in and of itself, but it's not the strongest movie out there, but has some flaws and weak points, which I'm sure we'll get into. But just start off. It is 20. Go ahead.
Isn't it? I hear it only took 7 days to make it.
Well, it seemed like it was a pretty quick thing. And I don't know.
Right.
I guess these found footage films, you can kind of just do one takes and move on. You know, I'm sure they probably do something like that. But it is from 2012, directed by Brenton Spencer, written and produced by John Shepard. So, what were y'all's initial thoughts when you first started into this?
No pirates. Is it a pirate movie?
Well,
It's like, no.
the way it started out, it was just like I was like, well, what kind of movie is this going to be? Because he seems like a voyeuristic type person, and he's showing off this camera that he got as a birthday gift, and I don't know. He seemed a little creepy. He got a little creepy vibe from the commentary he was giving as he was recording. So.
He was. Oh, go ahead, Beth.
I was gonna say, yeah, right off the bat. I mean, he was annoying as shit. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I like found footage, and I thought it was going to be in a rear window situation or something, maybe with the apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
But right off the bat, actually all of the characters were annoying. Which can be okay. I mean, sort of like a movie like Midsommar, you have a lot of characters that are unlikable, or I don't know. There's a ton of movies where the characters aren't necessarily likable, but they're still good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking right off the bat.
I got the. Once he started fooling around with the camera, and then he started, feeling himself having sex as his girlfriend and whatnot. I mean, he definitely felt like taking a shower a little bit, because he was a little bit slimy.
I don't know how old they were supposed to be, but he was 14, mentally or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the comments that the guy characters made, especially, was very it didn't fit their age, like what you're saying. It's I don't know,
very juvenile.
But just the way he was acting like he'd never had a video camera of any kind before. The way he was like, "Whoa, look at this zoom!" I was like, I mean, I get it if you get the newest and best, maybe seeing what it can do, but I don't know, that just seemed a little funny to me, how excited he was. And,
it's 1,000 times zoom, bro.
Yeah.
And of course, right off the bat, anytime he mentions night vision, I'm like, okay, that's going to play a pretty major role in this film. Obviously, I feel like the
foreshadowing.
Yeah, the dialogue was pretty rough. It didn't feel natural, So, and yeah, that whole friend group sucked, man. None of them were really great.
Yeah, they weren't. That was, that's a key component. I was listening to a review of I did of a movie called the Parker Sessions, and I remember watching that movie, and it was an interesting movie, but the one thing that came across was the fact that none of the characters were even remotely likable, and it's you gotta have at least one. Because otherwise people are standoffish, they want to have someone they could relate to, you want to have someone you can relate to, as far as viewer goes. but every one of these people is like they just weren't very nice, and you got to be able to develop compassion for your victims before they get crushed, you know.
I think, have you guys
Or
seen?
you root for their demise, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
which way they.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's one way to look at it. It's like, hell yeah, bring on the brimfire already.
Have you guys seen Open Water 3 Uncaged or whatever? I think that's what it was called.
No, I haven't.
No.
I saw the first one. That was enough for me.
The fourth one?
The first one.
Oh, the first one was good. And the second one was surprisingly pretty good too. The third one was, I feel, not supposed to be an open water movie, but they sort of branded it that way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The premise was really cool, and it's found footage, you know, like an open water movie would be. But the characters were so awful in that. It sort of reminded me of that as I was watching.
Yeah, I mean, his girlfriend Brooke, they're there and they're having their friends over, Kirk and Amanda, and you know we kind of see that. I guess they're the closest. You know, been friends for a while. I guess Kirk is Justin's friend, although he calls him a dick to Brooke when they're alone. And I'm like, well, geez, you think your friend, you wouldn't talk about him like that? I mean, because it didn't sound like he meant it jokingly either.
No,
but,
there's definitely some friction between the group too. You saw that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. But once they have the birthday party, whatever, then they decide they're going to go on this road trip, and Amanda's going to be bringing her sister Danielle with her, and so she seems a little when we meet her like she's not really going to be like a fourth wheel, whatever, third wheel. She's the only one without a significant other with them. She just kind of seems like she's I don't know, I don't really want to be here type thing, you know. At least that's what I got from it.
Yeah, she was pretty bad too. She was like you know, the roll your eyes at everything type of person, like just a sassy attitude in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is disagreeable to her.
Right. And, you know, they're supposed to be traveling with this cabin that Kirk's family owns. And they're going to make a stop off at this place that's called Crowsnest, which the whole thing behind it is Kirk's like, they have half-price beer. And so he wants to go there to get half-price beer because it's all online, this trucker forum or something about that's the place to go. And so it's just a little bit out of the way. So, you know.
Isn't it something you think about it? Like here you are in the city, and you get told that there's a place outside the city where you could go for a half price beer. So you can spend all the money in your gas tank just to get the half price beer when you could just stay there. And you know, it's just
Well, that whole concept to me was just. You think it would have been more like we got to get supplies for, you know, we're staying at the cabin. Maybe we're going to stop. Maybe it's like a grocery store or something. That would have made more sense to me than just
Right.
like, oh, we got to get some, you know, discounted beer. But anyhow,
Did it like the second they jump in the car, basically, they just open a bunch of alcoholic containers, like 4 of them in a vehicle while they're just going to go on a road trip, and then, I mean, that's like pretty haphazard, dude. Like,
and then Kirk blazes up one, behind the driver's seat there in the driver's seat.
He's blunting it.
Yeah, they're planning to have a good time, I guess, but it seems like they make a lot of stops though along the way before they ever get to, you know, Crowsnest. And you know, I was mentioning to Patrick, you know, there's this whole scene, the first stop they make, where they're like having a snack or something, and they're listening on the radio.
They look like they have fast food stuff, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, where'd they
right?
Get
Yeah,
and they're hearing that radio playing like this. Sounds like some type of or like evangelist talking about
West Virginia radio.
Yeah,
I actually thought that the radio. I thought it was the Killers. I thought, oh shit, I thought it was a foreshadowing. I said, okay, there's a bunch of religious nuts out there, and they're out there broadcasting somewhere, and that's what I thought at first when I heard that. And I'm like, man, that doesn't sound. That sounds like some old AM radio shit that you hear at after midnight. But that could be our killers.
And then Danielle's reaction was like 10 minutes of saying, the Bible will kill you for this. The Bible is like, Jesus, bitch, shut up, man. We get it. We got it in 5 minutes. Like you don't need to like say everything. I don't know. It was totally great.
You could even get put to death for this.
Then there'd be like a long pause, and she'd be like, and you could even get put to death for murder. And basically all the commandments.
Losing your virginity.
Right. Yeah, I told Patrick that whole scene to me seemed like they could have done without that. It really didn't add anything other than they were just taking a break from driving. But the next thing they see was a little, substantial. It would come up again later in the stories where they see there's like this carcass of something, a bloody carcass that the guys go and look at, and it's definitely not something you would think you'd see right by the road. Usually, if you're going to roadkill, it's intact.
I have to admit that's when it got it picked up a little bit, because that looked like a dog. To tell you the truth, when I saw that, and we're like, well, at least it wasn't a cat. It's a dog, but it's not a cat. So but I was still upsetting to see. And I gotta give credit for the effects people on this movie. They did a good job. They did a really good job. And that carcass, man, when you saw them getting sick around it, you could sort of go. You could understand that. You could almost going like, yeah, that's something I wouldn't want to stand around as much as they did. Though, I mean, they're sitting there like doing Quincy on an autopsy. It's like it's a dead carcass. It looks like it'd been cooked. I mean, time to go.
Right.
It also looked super duper fresh, right? I mean, it was still.
Yeah, it was real rare, real red.
And like they kept complaining about the smell, and that was another thing, because even later on, like they find basically another one, right? And they complain about the smell, and it's like that shit just happened. Like there's no rot or like stench of death.
Well, maybe they were in the RV rotting prior. I don't know.
I guess, but yeah, it's that's enough to at least get them
maybe they put sauerkraut on them.
Little creeped out, and by this point, I think someone's already mentioned they don't have good cell service.
Right, that's standard, right?
I think Justin even said he didn't have a phone or something. Something like he was going to pick a phone up, like I guess like buying a prepaid one or something. I don't know. He was like, he didn't have one.
He said he lost his phone, but it's cool. I was going to get another one anyway.
Oh, okay.
And I had to check, because I feel like phones are quite a bit different nowadays than this came out in 2012, right? Something, I believe. Yeah. And I think relationships with phones have changed quite a bit.
The flip phones.
Well, they have smartphone too, but smartphones came out in like 2008, I think. But like, I mean, no one just loses. No one's just like, oh yeah, I left my phone somewhere. It's like
no. I mean, yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever had that sort of cavalier attitude about a cell phone, because those things are expensive.
Oh yeah.
Because he got a track phone.
Yeah, right. Or Cricket.
So my husband's got one of those.
Mint Mobile, Ryan Reynolds.
We've washed too many in the washing machine, so we go with track phones.
But they do eventually make it to Crowsnest, and so the guys are like, well, we're going to go inside and get the beer, and the girls kind of go off. Danielle, I think at that point, maybe had already felt a little sick from what the drink she had. They were kind of commenting like she was maybe a lightweight, couldn't handle whatever. But Brooke and Amanda walk off, and I think Amanda has the camera. She hands it off to Brooke because she's got to pee. And then we see Brooke kind of walk around looking at stuff because they notice how like dilapidated this whole town is. It looks like they kind of comment it might be like an old mining town or something. But she sees a girl standing on this, what looks like an old house or outbuilding or something, with a little stuffed animal. And then she like turns her back to talk to Amanda, and then turns back and she's not there anymore. So
what is it about when people drive up to a place like that, right? And as soon as you roll up, well, not that, but the first thing you notice when you drive up is the lack of traffic. One, there's no traffic with you. They're not in front of you. They're not behind you. You roll up, you don't see a single damn car in there. Why are you stopping?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're stopping because that's where the half-price beer was.
Mm-hmm.
That was like their whole goal was to go to that fucking beer.
I mean, it's just like you could, like, okay, here we are getting off of Route 48. Here's the sign, half-price beer. You drive miles into the woods. You don't see any traffic at all coming or going. And, for half-price beer, you would think there'd be quite a lineup to get inside that place. But you get up there, you look around, there ain't a single soul up there, and then you sit there and it's like, oh, yeah, this is a good idea for us to get out and look around. Instead of sitting there going like, I think we made a wrong turn. Let's go home. Or let's go, somewhere else.
In my mind, like a lot of the country is like that. Like I just take it for granted that there's a lot of places that there's just like you can drive and not see a car for like a half hour or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, considering that it was supposed to be like a resort, somewhere where they're going to get cabins and stuff like that, or to go out there. I mean, they're not going to make a day trip out there just to get a half-price beer.
I think that's what they did. They're on the way to the dude's cabin. They're like, "Hey, half-price beer at Crowsnest."
Yeah. Right? It's just like you drive, and it's just something that you just pick up on. That's something like I haven't seen, because you think about it like if something goes wrong with my car here, will people be coming by this road? Will someone be able to see me?
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, and it's like you want to be able, you want to be stuck where no one's going to be able to see you at all without any signal. It's just, to me, I just think it's just like a little bit of common sense, and it's just like, but you really didn't get that from these guys at all. You never got the sense that these were like particularly bright people.
There was literally zero common sense used in this film. Like,
exactly.
Like none of the decisions they made were even remotely the right thing that they should have been doing in any situation.
Yeah.
So it's foreshadowing on how stupid they were.
Yeah. But so she saw the girl, then she disappeared. Then we hear guys yelling, come on, let's go. We got to get out of here. We got to get. And so you're like, what's their rush? What's going on? So they get in the car, and the guys are freaking out. And he's like, punch it, go. And it's like, I'm like, did they rob this joint? Did they steal the beer? What's going on? Why would they be in such a hurry to get out of there?
They never even addressed it, right? Like they just
right.
Yeah.
And so the guys just start talking about, well, the guy they bought the beer from was staring at them, and then he says, if you keep driving down this road, you're all going to die. Basically, he tells them that. And so they get extremely freaked out over it. I mean, like, if a guy told me that you're all going to die if you go up this road, yeah, I would probably be like, okay, but I don't know if I would be like, reacting the way they did. But it gets back on the road, but then they, I don't know how much time. It never really shows how much time it lasts, but they end up stopping again because the guys have to eat. And that's when we get our first glimpse of this RV, because Amanda's kind of out in the road a little bit, and I forget exactly what they're talking about, but then basically the RV comes by.
She's like, there's no one out here.
Yeah, I think she was getting sick.
She's spinning around saying, there's no one out here to be seen.
Right.
And almost hits her. And so
all I know is that's the stealthiest RV I've ever seen.
Yeah. You would
Time
think they
warp.
would have heard it coming up before the just
Yeah.
almost hitting her, but
I mean, I was like,
and
man,
of course
like,
this
you didn't see it.
that's Kirk,
You didn't
and he's
hear it?
like, "Oh, I'm going to chase after him now." So
Yeah, no way.
I guess maybe that's the city mentality, but if you could say that, but I don't know. Again, like what Ben said, they just made a dumb decision. You know, he almost hit her, but he did her, so kind of could have just let it go and go on your merry way. But Kirk, being hot-headed, decides we'll follow them, and I'm gonna get their tag number. The only problem is they can't see a tag when they finally get close enough to them.
No, do some freaking Knight Rider driving right here. That's for sure.
Like I do understand, like, you know, road rage, being pissed off at someone, and you know, engaging in that type of like ill-advised activities, but like, but like at the same time, like realistically, get their license plate number for what? For driving on a road that one of your passengers was standing in the fucking middle of, you know, like,
right?
Maybe not cool, but
they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
the other girl just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. And I think that's when we see the awful quick turnaround of this RV to where now it's facing them like it's going to play chicken
magic
with
happens.
And
Ben, have you ever seen an RV spin to turn around that quick?
Yeah, dude, just like boop. One of those.
Like it seemed like it was literal seconds from the time they kind of looked away to they're looking.
Like they had no moment to react. You know, it would be like an 18-point turn for it to like flip around. Like a half hour.
Wait.
You could have been like, let's just go, dude. You know, like
I think I was more impressed with that singular moment than anything else in the movie. I was like, I mean, you know, I'm still, after the movie's over, I'm still talking about it. I'm still going like, how do they do that? How do they do that? You know, like I need to get a Matchbox to see if I could do the same thing.
Yeah. And, you know, so then the RV starts coming at them. So, of course, they start figuring out, all right, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. And they end up getting, I think that actually hits them a couple of times, bumps into them.
Yeah, I think it rammed them a few times. Yeah.
But they do get away. But that's the first action that we've really seen in the movie. And I think by this time we're at least over a half hour or so in.
But they're saying the roads are rough.
Mm-hmm.
And that they got to pull over again.
Yes, and I think that's another time where it was Danielle or one of them. They were sick because all the girls go across the other side of the road, and they're kind of tending to her. And of course, the guys are still freaking out, like, oh, "Come on, we don't really have time for this. Let's get out of here."
Yeah, they're checking
we got
out
away
the
from the
broken
RV
lens and
but
stuff too, right?
What's that?
The back brake light was broken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Kurt was freaking out about the damage to the car, and Justin's like, well, I'm going to video this. We'll have all this proof. We can show what they did. And so that, again, the cameras, the focus on what's going to help them, you know, in some way. But they get back in the car, but then Danielle she gets out again like she's going to be sick again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she gets out, that's when the RV comes again and actually does hit her. And
honk honk.
It has that loud horn again that it's using. And I thought she was pretty much dead at that point. But once they get out, of course, they're, you know, freaking out. Amanda, of course, with her sister. And so they get her at least in the car. Actually, I think, was it Justin that mentioned about just possibly leaving her there, like they didn't.
Yeah, what is wrong with him?
And I'm just like, at some point in this movie, both the guys kind of make comments that are very like, you know,
they're those guys were not nice people.
Yeah, nice pics, girls.
They were all shitty. Like every single person in their friend group was shitty. And acting shitty towards each other and just in general. I though, when Danielle got hit, I thought that was pretty effective, like possibly one of the most effective parts of the movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering again. It was like it was wondering because I was thinking, well, how the hell did they turn? Like, I mean, I'm just thinking they had to turn off. There had to be another off road to make a circle. They had to circle all the way back to come back around. I mean, they didn't. They were ahead of them. So they didn't. How did they get behind them? And I'm thinking, well, wouldn't you notice? Again, it's like you're driving down the road, you're noticing all the different side roads, right? And even if they had a side road, it still would have taken them a time for them to go completely around to come back. I mean, it was just you really had to really suspend your disbelief on this. You really had to, like, wow, that doesn't seem like they could really do that.
Well, also, like, I mean, how fucking like stealthy and fast was that RV going to creep up on Danielle standing like I feel like you could see that thing from 400 feet away and then like, oh shit, they're here,
Yeah, and you would think that after you had that first near call, you would think that you would be extra careful and sitting out there.
Be on the lookout.
Your head would be on a swivel, looking around, and you would hear it.
Yeah,
and it didn't, and you didn't hear it, and it's just like, okay, come on. I mean, look, if it was just a car, if it was the Wraith, fine, you can hear Charlie Sheen. I'm all right with that. But you're talking about a freaking RV here. How could you not hear that? And now, why wouldn't you be looking for it if you already had bad encounters for it? To me, it's like, look, if you're gonna get sick, hang your head out the window. But I'm not stopping this car for nothing.
We're getting chased by Deliverance. We're out of here.
Yeah.
So they're all freaking out at this point, and of course, they're like, "We got to get her to a hospital now." And he's like, "Well, we need to get service." I think I'm trying to remember which of the guys said it, but it's like, we can get service, we can call and get a helicopter or something to come in here and fly her out. And that was the, I guess, plan. They're going to drive up a hill. I think it was a hill they were trying to drive up.
The plan was to leave her on the fucking side of the road and drive for help, and then they'll come back for her or something. I'm like, what, dude? Like,
well, then the car broke, so then I think the car broke, didn't it?
Well,
or something happened.
When they get back in the car, the RV returns again and starts it rams them a few more times and actually busts out the back glass, I think. But they get away a second time, and that's when they stop because Danielle stops breathing. She spits up blood, and I guess it just like she died. So they kind of pull over to assess that, and of course, Amanda's just freaking out and doesn't really know what to do. Maybe she's in shock still, and they keep like saying, "Hey, we need to go." I think they were going to walk into the woods at that point to try to get signal again with the phone. They're trying to tell her, just leave your sister here and come with us, and she's like, "Just leave me alone. Leave me alone."
Like the disabled vehicle part didn't really make too much sense either, because like there's some fluid leaking from under the car. They hit something big that he didn't see or something, but they don't ever you see the road they're on. There's nothing big for them to have hit.
No. That RV would have hit it way before they would have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But then,
especially since they end up using that vehicle again later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, like it gets like push started or something. They don't really say.
Yeah, that was, I guess, kind of what it implied, because they get hit again. But I guess before that, we need to talk about, Kurt, Brooke, and Justin go out in the woods again. They're trying to get service, and then a conversation comes up about basically Kurt is getting or saying something to Brooke about, "That's not what you said last year," or something, talking about basically alluding that they had hooked up, and he's just bringing that up for some reason at that point.
Yeah.
And Justin's like, "What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking?" And yeah, so basically he learns she's cheated on him since they were dating, because it doesn't say like, "Oh, we were broke up then," or
And then he asks, "Oh, you never told him? Like, that's your friend group, dude. You would know if she had told him." You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I mean, I would assume it was a secret thing. So no, I don't think she's going to tell him that. Even if it was just a one night fling, you know, she's probably still not going to mention it.
And there's still like no actual reason for him to bring it up in that situation.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
none whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
Just like, by the way, you remember that time I called you a slut and fucked you up against the wall? It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, she likes to get slammed against the wall. We should talk about this right now.
Yeah. There's some branches. Will that work too?
Yeah. Maybe the psychos will catch her and she'll get what she wants, right?
Yeah.
And then they, as they're arguing, then they hear the screams coming from the car.
Yep. They hear Amanda scream, and they also hear that loud horn again. So that pretty much says, "Hey, we got to get back to the car now," because I don't think they ever got the signal to get a call out. And of course, they see that Amanda and Danielle are missing. You know, there's the blood and stuff, so they don't really know what happened. They just know they're gone. So it's just looking more and more of a dire situation. But I'm trying to think.
Well, Justin has the camera, so we hang out with him.
Well, that I think that's after him and Kirk end up fighting, right?
Right, they fight. They have a fight, and Justin says, "You know, you're dead to me," and then and then he goes his own way with the camera. And this is the only part of the whole movie that actually, for me, it was like the one part. It was like, okay, this is realistic right here. And when Justin goes off and he leaves them behind, but then you see him crouching and he's scared, and he is scared, and you can see that. I mean, he wasn't macho or bullshit or anything like that, and he even cries. He's terrified, and that's when for a split second there, you actually feel sorry for him, like, okay, I do feel sorry for him for a little bit, but then he does what he does in a few minutes, and then you're just like, man, you're just dog meat.
Imagine though, like if he had been likable from the beginning, and like not a complete fucking douche nozzle, and then finds out that his girlfriend cheated on him with his best friend, and they're in this terrible situation, and then they had that scene, and you'd be like, damn, these dude's having a rough go at it. But as it was like, when I was thinking, the only thing I was thinking was like, hey, this dude's acting is not too bad. Like, had nothing to do with the character or that moment in the film. It's just like, hey, he's squeezing out a couple of tears. That's cool.
Yeah. And he has his little breakdown, and he's like, I got to get moving. I can't just sit here. And lo and behold, he goes over this little hill, this rise. He's lost, but then he sees the RV parked, and he's like looking. There's nobody around, so he's going to go down there to investigate. You see blood on the ground and also on the door, coming out from under the door.
What he also saw too, and to me, it's like, this is what killed me about this was, okay, I'll give him credit for going down there. I mean, to take it to him, but he gets inside there and there's weapons everywhere. I mean, it looked like an operating room, for basically what it was. It's like, dude, there's enough weaponry here to do a squad. So freaking arm yourself already, especially after he sees his friend there. It's just like, that's the first thing I'm doing is like, okay, one, I'm fucking arming myself up. Two, I'm grabbing her, and we're either going out together or we're not going out at all.
Maybe the keys are the ignition.
Exactly.
Right.
He never tried in the front. Like,
no.
I'm getting out of here. I can't cut you out right now. We're going to drive this magical RV out of these woods.
He also didn't know that they weren't in the RV. Like, he just willy-nilly walked up to it, have tinted windows, like, and he just starts walking around every single window of the fucking thing. Like, like, okay, if you're ballsy enough and you don't care if they see you because you're going to fight them or whatever, then. Yeah. But if you're trying to be stealthy, like, he was pretty awful at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know that sort of makes sense that he would be sort of awful at it in that situation. I mean, you know, but at the same time, it's like it would be realistic. The first thing I'm doing is I'm looking for anything and everything I can to weaponize myself, you know, and then I'm barring the door. You know, I'm gonna do something I can. Like if I personally, what he should have done is grab the sharpest thing he could have and do his best to flatten the tire, make it even. You know, put him on his ground. Like,
Right.
look, I don't have a car, neither do you. You know, and I'm better shape than you. I think I can outlast you longer in the woods. If I run now and you got to chase me, I think I can stay ahead of you.
I feel like he doesn't even have to form a plan. Like you walk in, you see a machete on the ground, that shit's in your hand immediately, regardless, because that's
Right.
human nature. Like you're not even gonna think about it. You're just gonna be like, oh shit, weapon. You know, it's like a reflex that he apparently didn't have.
He needed to play more video games.
But
He could put his camera down.
the first thing you do is check like the driving situation. Can you drive their fucking thing out of there? You know what I mean? Like he never did that. Never.
Yeah,
Even like
he goes in and we get to see that night vision put into action, so he can see in there because you know him and Amanda both are commenting about how dark it is in there because she doesn't know what's going on. And I mean, I may have seen this wrong, but it looked like they had chopped one of her feet off already.
Yeah, I think they did.
And they had
I
the
had
other
watched it the
leg
second time.
shackled.
I missed all the good stuff the first time I watched it. The second time I was like, man, I missed that part.
I think that at the same time, I think that's the reason why he felt like he couldn't take her because she couldn't stand, you know. But I mean, initially, but I mean, he did try to break her out of there. But you know, when they came back, you know, when that girl came in there.
Well, he heard somebody else in the RV, and he's like, "I gotta go check, see who this is." And she's yelling, and he's holding his hand over her mouth, trying to quiet her. That's when he sees creepy girl munching on the fingers of, I guess, was that Danielle?
Yeah,
it was one of. I guess it had to have been her.
Yeah, and then like, at least he grabbed a weapon, but he grabbed like one of the dumber weapons like that was around him, you know, for like confronting someone. He just grabs like a kitchen knife off the table.
Right. But he did go to work. I'll give him credit that. I mean, he did what he had to do. I mean, he didn't let the fact that the little girl was a little girl. He took her out.
She jumped on him like a spider monkey, and he decided, I'm gonna have to take you out, and he went to chopping.
Yeah.
I think
then immediately he reverts back though to being an asshole by, you know, sitting there going like, I can't take you. You know, like that's what I mean. To me, it's like, man, if I'm in that situation, either we go together or we die together. We're not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna leave you behind. I'm certainly wouldn't
give me the machete, and I'll get them when they come in.
Yeah, or have that sauce so I can just keep working on it while you're doing
one of them.
I did like he sort of like she attacks him and he just like stabs her to death a bunch of times. And then there was like a moment afterwards where he was just like, fuck, what the, you know, like he realized what he had done. And I thought that was kind of cool and realistic because like in those situations you just react and then afterwards you can have your moments of clarity or whatever. And like I thought that was like something cool they threw in, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then he has to hide when he gets back outside again because the guys are coming up.
He leaves that girl behind. He leaves Amanda behind.
Yeah, they go inside. He takes off running, but he gets back over that hill and he's still videoing. And you hear her screaming, and then eventually not when they finish her off. But
I might have left her behind too, to be perfectly honest.
I don't think I could have. I think I would have drew the line right there.
You can hide underneath, and then you can get the one, and I'm going to get the other because they don't know I have a machete. Like I can get one, you get the other.
I mean, the only
I'm
thing,
still
the only
chained
thing,
up.
the only thing that the only thing that probably would have made you feel like you needed to run if you saw they had a firearm, but they never displayed that, and all in their encounter. Like you would think after the road rage incident that they had a gun, they would have shot at you guys, but they didn't shoot. They didn't shoot, so and they didn't come out. You didn't see them shoot in the woods or anything else. So you sort of got to err on the side of caution and going like, well, there's 50-50 chance that they don't have any weapons. So take a chance and fight. That's a very compact room, and he's a smaller guy. That it gives him the advantage. Because they're hard. They're not going to be able to maneuver in that. Plus that the RV was full of blood and guts anyway. It's slippery. He would have had a fighting chance.
I like the concept of having a mobile slaughterhouse and everything.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, they were kind of hillbillies, and like, why would they do their shit up all like Dexter kill room, just to like butcher something when they can just pull off on the side of the road and do it? Like, it's just kind of weird.
It's a good point.
I mean, could you imagine that RV driving anywhere in public? I mean, it would smell like a death house, no matter where they went. They had to go get gas somewhere. It wasn't like they were driving a vehicle behind it being towed. Though that would have even made the turnaround even more impressive. But I mean, yeah, you just wonder, like, how they had to interact with the public somehow, and it's like, I don't think having a slaughterhouse and a RV would be a good thing to do. It wouldn't be very smart.
But I did like it. I did like the concept of it, sort of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminded me of Midnight Meat Train a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have like this murder happening in like a sort of more like enclosed public type environment,
Yeah. But when he hears her screaming stop, then about a split second or so after that door busts open on the RV, and one of the killers starts chasing him.
Yeah.
So he's running with the camera, and we get you kind of don't know where he's at, whatever. And he finally hides from the one guy, but he forgets for some reason, I guess, that, wait a minute, well, there might be a second guy. I might need to look around for him. That's the one that gets him. And we see that brutal scene where they kill him, and that was
good effect.
That was brutal.
Like,
that was definitely by far the singular brutal moment of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're like, we see a camera, or he picked up the camera just to show what they were doing, but then he drops it. He's like, we don't need the camera. We've got our food, so we're good.
And I he just says something super mundane as he's getting decapitated, right? Something like, oh, it hurts, and which is, I think, kind of realistic. Like, people think, like in Friday 13th part 4, right, where he's like, oh, he's killing me. People make fun of him, but I mean, if someone's killing you, you're gonna say the most stupid element. Like, you're shocked that you're actually getting murdered by someone. I thought that was kind of realistic and relatable to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a horrible way to die. Being cut decapitated like that, especially from the back. That's really, really rough. I mean, and it's not a slow death. It's not like instantaneous, like they showed it there.
Yeah,
you're suffering for a good minute or two. It's tough to the cut like that, and you're feeling it. It's brutal.
And then it skips ahead. We finally catch up with Kirk and Brooke, and they find the camera.
Brooke, that's her name. I kept forgetting her name.
Yeah. And of course, they're just like still trying to get cell signal, because I guess that's the only thing they can do, I guess. But and they're also having to hide from this RV, because I think the first time they hide, it ends up driving on by, or it stops and then drives away, and then that's when they see the second bloody carcass. But this one is clearly human, and they are assuming that it is Justin. and they are, of course, very concerned and freaked out and getting sick, whatever, But yeah, it was another, like you said, they were mentioning the smell, but if it was Justin, that was pretty fresh. So,
and like the RV's not even around the corner yet, and they're all like out in the middle of the road. I'm like, dude, fuck you. That's not how that shit's gonna go down, and
yeah,
you wait there for like 10 minutes, make perfectly sure.
Definitely.
And it was also highly convenient how the RV always just stopped right in front of them without knowing that they were there.
Yeah. The guy brushes the corner. If Justin comes over the hill, there's the RV right there, right in smack of him. He didn't have to look for it at all.
It's like kismet, man.
I think that RV was possessed.
That's a pretty nice RV for a couple of hillbillies, right? I mean, I don't know what the
Yeah.
are, but it was like a nice modern.
I think they got a couple snowbirds that are coming down to get some half price beer.
Well, I think it doubled as an RV and as a food truck.
Yeah, I guess they were running a business possibly for other cannibals. Who knows?
They're heading to Texas.
Half price intestines.
Yeah, it was like tax write-off, that RV. So they were cool.
But the RV comes back, and this time they're hiding again, but this time the guys come after them.
Yeah.
And that's when the camera gets dropped again, and we hear Kirk screaming as if they had to have at least attacked him. And we find out when it picks back up, they're looking for the camera again, and we see exactly the damage that's happened, because it looked to me like they basically split one of his hands right down between the bird and the what other finger you call it, but
and they gave him like the Friday 13th Part 4 treatment,
yeah.
But then also before that we see like one of the hillbillies is like obese and out of breath, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in my mind, I'm like, dude, I could outrun that dude. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was saying. I mean, why would you engage it? Why wouldn't you just why would you? I mean, to me, it's like engage them in the RV, right? Get the girl out and get out. They're not going to be able to run you down. They're not going to. You hit to the woods, you should just go. There's no way they're going to catch you.
Right.
But you also don't. I mean, if they're out in that environment all the time, they could be very good at tracking and whatnot. So I mean, they could like creep up on you without you even knowing it. Without it being a foot race or anything.
Yeah.
I just think
you had the road. I mean, if anything, all you need to do is just get on the road and go make them come
Don't
to
go on
you.
The road. Just stay outside the road a little bit.
Walk parallel to the road.
In the woods.
I mean, you run and then you listen for the RV, and then when that happens, then you dash off. Then you get off the side of the road. They don't know where you're at.
Yeah, but we already know that the RV has a stealth mode, dude. Like you can't hear that thing.
It's got to be the quietest RV ever made.
Yeah.
The way they were able to sneak up so many times on.
It's Tesla. It's a Tesla.
Those hybrids.
But Kirk is bleeding from his injury, and he's showing signs that he's getting weaker, and he doesn't want to.
He's getting woozy.
And Brooke's like, "Come on, we got to go. We got to get out of here." And they somehow make it back to their car.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the trope of it won't start.
Yeah.
And so she's trying her best to get it to start. And that's when the RV comes up and kind of gives them a gentle push. And that action gets the engine going. And
they didn't even show it starting.
They kickstarted it for him.
Just but I mean, even if you're push starting, you have to have it in gear and pop the clutch. I mean, you have to be expecting it. You don't just get hit and it jars the motor into running. That was fucking weird.
Right.
That only happens when you have a stealth RV.
That's true. They had alien technology in that thing, so we know.
Tesla touch.
Yeah, it's that's wild. But you think now they got the car going, and they do happen to get away from the RV again for this is the third or fourth time they've got away from the RV.
Yeah, and she
At
just pulls
least.
up and puts it in park and turns it off. Like
Exactly.
fuck, yeah.
I don't get that part. I mean, like,
I guess because the guy was laying all over her lap, he was probably going into shock from having his hand split, and his
Yeah, I'm
hand
gonna
got
hit the
into
gas even more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wrap that
you
up.
think,
get him to a hospital, right? Like,
right?
because we see clearly they've made it to the road to get them out of that whole area they've been in.
Yeah,
And
Route 84 or whatever, right?
right,
Yeah.
they see the sign, and then we're like, okay, here's some hope, and then that's when they get T-boned by the
Boom,
RV that
shaka.
time, and
yeah.
There's also like this stupid moment where that dude's like, I actually always loved you or some shit. Like it didn't really jive with his character or the story or like
No.
Not at all.
so like it didn't feel like it didn't have any impact on me as a viewer. It was kind of
right.
No, no. By that time, you're just waiting to see what's going to happen. They're gonna buy the farm somehow, some way. You're just wondering how it's going to happen. Because it's found footage, and
There was also a moment where because his hand was split, and there was a moment where half of it fell off, and we don't see it or anything, but he mentions it, and I that part to me sort of felt real too because he's like, shit, my hand just fell off. Like it seems like that's not what
I
you
missed
say,
that part. Damn.
but what would you say? I mean, you'd be like, shh, what the, like.
bastard, don't stop for nothing.
But there's also no way you have that injury and you haven't wrapped like a t-shirt around it or something.
Yeah,
No.
put a little pressure on that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not just like flopping it around as you're running or whatever,
Yeah, you're not
You're
slapping
very
a
least
kid.
doing this.
But yeah,
Said to keep
in
her
the line
hand
of in the line of bad decisions that they did make, the last one ended up being the most costliest because we get the fade to black, so
Fatality.
that's letting us know that pretty much sealed their fate. And that's Crowsnest.
Carl.
I mean, I thought there were good parts about it, but
Yes.
The effects
yeah.
were cool.
I
Yeah,
mean, the effects are cool. The one, Justin's death was definitely that was absolutely stone cold brutal. I was like, damn.
Wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
was
they
like,
got
man,
him.
if that
They
movie
got
had
him in
been
the
like
back.
that, if that movie had been like that for the whole movie, this could be a classic.
yeah.
But even though I have to will say, for as far as kills go, and that whole scene right there definitely elevated this movie to from just it elevated it for me. It's like, damn, that was pretty all right, and then the ending, I didn't mind the ending, I didn't mind it at all. It's like,
Right.
okay, because I wanted to know how it happened, and of course it had to be with the RV, and it makes sense. It's like they've been chasing them, they've been been stalked by that RV, and the RV was almost like the fourth cannibal. It really was. The little girl, the two men, that RV was like a character all in itself.
Well, I was hoping at least whenever it did the fade to black that we might get a little, write up saying, because like, how did this footage get out? I mean, that's usually the $1 million question. We just watched something that was supposedly happened. How did they get the camera, the footage? You think there had been a little something, but it was just straight to the credits.
And the synopsis of the film says that this is footage that the police had found. So like I knew that going in, but yeah, like they should have done something, or like,
how are they going to even know?
There's been like, 40 missing people in this area since the 2020, or like these people have never been found, or like something, right? Just kind of like,
Right.
Yeah.
was nothing, but
yeah, let's get into what your, I guess, final thoughts. If you want to grade this one, Patrick, we start with you.
I think the movie had some. It definitely has some. Obviously the fact that none of the characters were likable really hurt the movie for me. I mean, they really didn't. I mean, you really didn't really care about any of them. But would I still recommend this movie? I would actually, if you're a horror fan, yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, just for that one kill alone, because that's a brutal one. It's not the strongest one we've seen. I mean, wasn't as good as the Den. I mean, the Den was top notch. I would definitely give this like I'd give this like a 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, then what do you think, sir?
I like found footage movies. I like cannibal hillbilly movies. And oh, look at what the hell?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What the fuck? Is this
Do
some
it again,
AI
do
shit? What the
I
heck?
guess it's something with your camera, maybe.
Yeah.
What
Oh wow.
dude?
Wow.
What the fuck? It's seriously, I'm just
It's reacting.
dude, that's some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Did you do peace sign?
Can you make Guygan
sign?
come up behind you?
Did you do it? There it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
That's fucking weird. That took me really by surprise.
Is that your camera doing that?
No, I mean
Yeah.
it's gotta be StreamYard, right? Get someone else give a thumbs up or something. Because like
I don't know. I've never seen that before, but
No.
Mm.
I think it might just be.
My daughter can
Yeah.
get that on her phone, but I'm on my tablet.
Wow.
well, at any rate, I like found footage. I like cannibal hillbilly movies. That doesn't work.
Didn't do it that time.
And so like I kind of expected I'd like it because there's not really that many found footage movies that I don't like. Found footage is something where you can have a kind of like a slow pace and a small budget, but it can still be pretty good, right?
Right.
But I think this one really fell short because of the incomprehensible decisions that were made along every road, the unlikability of the characters. So I would not necessarily. I wouldn't recommend it to someone.
Vacuum?
Uh-oh. It's the RV.
I know.
Wait,
I would probably give it a solid 3.5, which is pretty harsh for me. I'm not really hard on movies, but this one was pretty bad, I thought.
Yeah. Well, Mary, what about you?
I was right around in the 4.5 range, but I like Patrick's saying, and I do like that one scene where they finally got Justin.
Yeah.
And that's what you get
Yeah.
for saying let's leave him behind.
Yeah.
Gotcha, sucker.
Yeah. You left your friend behind. Now you left your head behind.
Yeah, I mean, me personally,
Yeah,
I'm
not
go
a
ahead.
found footage fan though, but
Yeah.
I didn't mind it,
Mhm.
but the characters were not likable. No, they were not,
Yeah.
especially Justin.
Yeah. Yeah. I more or less wanted to see y'all's reaction because I knew I didn't really think it was that strong of a movie. It had quite a bit of flaws, and I really think they could have done this with a much younger cast, but maybe they just I don't know how it all came to be, but some of the dialogue and everything would have made more sense if they were younger.
Right.
The dialogue was very rough. Like none of it felt authentic. That's the part. Like it felt like people reciting poorly written lines. So like it's hard to get into a found footage movie like that for me. Like if it's people acting sort of like naturally and you feel like you're watching, like you're like the fly on the wall of this situation, but it felt like they were just kind of poorly acting out some really bad dialogue along the way.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean, it's definitely one if you can find, be good to have in the collection, but you can catch it streaming as well.
Mhm.
There's one like behind the scenes featurette you get on the DVD. but it doesn't add a whole lot as far as, it's just a normal type of quick put together thing. But I'd probably give it about a 5. I wouldn't go any higher than that on this. And, but again, there are certain moments like you mentioned with the kills that makes it at least worth a watch. But
Yeah, good
just
special
don't
effects.
don't go into it expecting too much. That's what I would say.
It is February, so that would means it will be Ben's turn to host us next month and pick out the movie.
I got a pretty interesting one. The movie Proxy. Have you got any of you guys seen that one?
No,
Oh,
I was wanting to see that too.
From I think it's 2012, maybe somewhere in there, 2014, something like that. But
I can see the cover in my head, but I have not seen. I'll watch the trailer.
There's some pretty jarring moments in that film, but it's going to be an interesting one to discuss.
Oh, he's got it.
Look at that.
Have you seen it, Patrick?
No, I have not yet. But Jason from Horrific Nightmares, he turned me on to this movie.
I liked it. I've only seen it the one time, and usually I've not seen that artwork with the pacifier. I've seen the one with like the ultrasound.
Mm-hmm. I think people got it in horror packs not that long ago, so they'll have it, the Blu-rays or something.
Yeah,
that's the one.
But it's a pretty interesting movie. I'll be interested in rewatching it and then discussing it with you guys. I liked it. I thought it was pretty brutal in certain ways and thought-provoking in others. So we'll see how it goes.
Good cast too. Christina Klebby's in this one. She's really good. Don't know any of the other actors, but I know Christina Klebby is. She's really good.
What's the date on that one?
This one is
Proxy.
2013.
No, I mean like when we're having what day in February?
This one will be February 25th.
25th.
At Ben's channel.
Okay.
Okie doke. Got it. Yeah, I wanted to watch that one too. Cool.
It's an interesting movie. I think even if you don't like it, I think we'll have a lively discussion about it.
Sure.
All right. Always.
I think it's I think we've had a really good run of quality movies. That's for sure. I have still yet to see a single movie that we have covered since the start of this series that I've just out and out just like no. There's been they've all had maybe they haven't been always the strongest, but they have been entertaining.
Right.
I watched The Vigil, but I missed a lot because it was like no subtitles.
The Vigil. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man, I like that movie. That movie's badass.
It's like darn, I don't know what they're saying. Shit.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That was a solid movie. I like that one.
Yeah, we like that one. That was PG-13 too, and it was really good. It was like, holy cow, this is not bad at all.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
So Proxy, I've been wanting to see this too. That's like I said, like Jason from Horrific Nightmares turned me on to it, and I'm not sure if he's still in the chat or not, but we'll see if we can invite him. Maybe he can come up. Maybe he can come up next month. We can ask him if you want, if you guys are okay with it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on because he's a huge IFC guy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh well, I know I don't have anything really upcoming to promote, but we'll start with you, Patrick. Anything you want to let folks know about that you?
Yeah, I'm going to be interviewing Corin Nemec on February 9th.
Awesome.
That guy's done just about everything. He did he did the first The Stand miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
He's also done Parker Lewis Can't Lose. He did that.
I remember him from that. Yeah.
See, he's done a ton of Sci-Fi Channel work too. He also did Stargate SG-1. and he's made a lot. He's made a lot of fun. He's made a lot of fun sci-fi creature features. It's, I mean, he throw, he puts the work in. That's for sure. And so he's going to come over and hang out with. He's going to come and hang out with me, and we're going to talk about his career on the 9th.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And see, on Tuesday I have Jamie Hill coming, and she was one of the stars of Skinamarink. So we'll be talking to her this coming Tuesday.
I still haven't watched that one yet either. I think it's
I also was surprised Ben didn't pick it.
Is that IFC?
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie. I don't even know if I'm quite ready to rewatch it, to be honest with you.
What about when Evil Lurks? That
was a good one.
I'm waiting for that. I'm hoping to get that through the library because I really want to talk about that.
Oh, is that IFC?
Yeah, that's IFC MidKnights. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good
one. If I'm not mistaken, I think Speak No Evil was too.
That was also a good one. They're working on a remake of that, an American remake.
Yeah, Blue House.
Which probably will suck, but the original was infuriating in certain ways, but I like the type of story that it was. Sort of like where people are in bad situations and they don't realize it until it's kind of too late for them, you know?
Right.
But that was a good one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that the library will drop down when Evil Lurk.
I made Alien.
Nice.
That's very cool.
That's really cool.
It's coming out.
That's
the mother.
Yeah. Get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
That's right. I hated it because the first Alien, it wasn't just Ripley facing off against the Queen. She had an ally in Jonesy. And he never gets the credit.
That's true.
Jonesy didn't pass away until Alien 3, right?
Yeah, I don't think Jonesy passed out to the third one.
Yeah.
Jonesy was in it. I think he was in both the first two.
He was probably about 100 years old.
Still a badass.
Because he was in the chamber with her.
Hypersleep.
Hypersleep for 80 years or something.
Yeah. Wow. What would that, if 80 years, what would that make him in cat years? Like 700. I mean, he'd be like Yoda by the time he got out.
560.
They cloned Jonesy for Alien Resurrection. I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch those. I got the first four. I found that as a box set at the library. I haven't watched it though. Right now, I'm rewatching Ghost Ship. Remember that one with Gabriel Byrne and Julia Margulies?
Good cast.
Yeah, had a great cast. I forgot that Carl Urban was in it.
He's a really good actor.
Yeah. I forgot that he was in that movie. I just remember. I remember Juliana Margulies and Gabriel Byrne.
I remember Margulies. I don't remember much about it other than the first few minutes is crazy.
Yeah. That opening scene is classic. That's a banger of an opener. That's almost like honestly, that entry shot, that's almost like on the same level as Final Destination 2. You know, when you think about that movie, Ghost Ship, the first thing you think of was that first opening scene.
Yeah.
Let's see, PG-13, blah. I'm with you on that. When it comes down to Blumhouse Echo. But as far as the movies we've done a couple of PG-13s here on the IFC show, and both those movies were extremely effective being PG-13. I mean, you got to be afraid. You can't be afraid not to go to the. You can't wait. You got to push the boundaries when you do PG-13. I think Jason Blumhouse, he doesn't. In all his movies, they always have that. All they are is just jump scares. It's just like, that's not a horror movie.
Blumhouse has had some good films, dude.
Sure they had. I mean, the rated R movies are great, but some of the
Mhm.
PG-13 stuff is not so good.
Happy Death Day was a very solid PG-13 movie, I thought.
Yeah, I like that. I like both of those.
Yeah, I like that one.
The first
Yeah, but
one.
then you think about Fantasy Island, and you go like, oh.
Oh well, see, I never made the mistake of watching Fantasy Island.
Uh,
Me either.
Oh,
There's
that's hard.
certain, like, I also probably will not watch Night Swim. You know.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was so expecting. Everybody thought Night Swim was going to be all that, and then it came out, and everybody's just like, "Oh, this is some bullshit."
I'd only watch it because of Wyatt.
At least you're honest.
Yeah. Wyatt Russell. Sure. He's starting to look more and more like his daddy.
Speaking of Jonesy and the cheetah, Ben, any word on Corgi? Any been poking around?
No, you know, I got like big life changes. Everything's
Mhm.
life. Though it might be a good time to get a dog right now.
Wow.
But yeah, you know, no current plans. It's just playing it by ear, man.
Right, I get it. Hopefully that will resolve, you know, for you one way. Like I said, hopefully they'll just keep you work, you know. Hopefully they'll just keep you on as a contractor until they figure out what the hell they're doing, and then you can go back to full time.
Well, that's not going to happen just because of the nature of the restructuring that went on. But I'm anyway. Anyone watching the replay or anything, I got laid off, sadly. But I'm not concerned about finding another job because I've got some street cred, but it's just big changes. Losing Quilted was another big change, man. 17 years.
It was.
That was like
Yeah.
the last 6 months, right? So like,
It's tough.
How long? When did she pass?
July.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, you know that's the thing. Whenever you feel like you're ready.
Gil, you'll know it when you
Yeah.
see him. You know, you're like, that's the one.
Yeah.
Or you just feel like it. You know, but like you said, you got a lot of stuff going on right now. Maybe you want to move, maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been thinking. Well, I mean, I'm also in a rent-controlled apartment that I've been in for 20 years. So, like, my cost of rent is relatively cheap for the Bay Area. But I had been sort of looking to buy a place, so at least I didn't overextend myself in that way.
Right. Hey, Cheetah. Hey, Paladin.
This is the next chapter.
Yeah.
End of an era, man.
Yeah.
Over 10 years, a whole decade, man.
I know all about changes.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm here, so
Yeah.
I survived whatever change was trying to come my way.
Yeah, I'm trying to survive the change that came my way too.
Yeah, but we're here for you.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah. Anytime, anytime I'm here. So
Yes,
I do appreciate
I'm definitely looking forward to. I told you Ben was going to come through for us, so we're looking forward to Proxy next month. That cover is really.
That's
it got
creepy,
me really, very creepy. It got me very curious to see what this one's about.
As I saw It's Alive was on Prime, and I was little when that came out. It's been a long time.
I remember that one.
I haven't watched it since then.
Oh man!
I made my parents leave the drive-in because I could hear her getting killed. Nah. My first horror movie.
Yeah. Well, look forward to checking that one out. I think we had a great discussion this evening. Patrick, Ben, Mary, thank you all for being here, providing the input. Echo, Sarah, No, Terrific Nightmares, JM, Jason, thank you all for joining us. And I guess we'll be seeing y'all on the next one.
All right.
So.
Y'all.
25th. Bye bye.